Welcome to my show. A guest here. Her name is Meri Wallace. Mrs. Mary, how are you doing, ma?
I'm doing very well, thank you. And thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Thank you, ma. Firstly, you are a child and family therapist. You are also an author and you are a speaker, also a parenting expert. Can you please, ma, discuss more about yourself and how you are doing currently now, ma?
Well, I am a child and family therapist, and I've done that for over 30 years. And my specialty is parenting. I'm a parenting expert. And in the course of my work, I found some very interesting things to write about. So I've written three books. One is The Secret World of Children, the other is Birth Order Blues, and the last is Keys to Parenting Your 4 Year Old.
Yes, thank you so much, Mrs. Valance. And that is why I want you to also discuss more on your books, which is The Secret World of Children, Birth Order Blues, The Keys to Parenting for 4 years old, and The Secret World of Children. And do you also have more books that you are planning to write in the coming future, ma?
Um, Actually, my last book was The Secret World of Children, and I pretty much put everything in there that I know about children and parents and the best way to communicate. So I think I'm going to take a break for a while,
It's true.
but I can tell you more about the book. I'd love to.
Yes, yes. You can tell us more about the book, ma.
Okay. So, in working with parents over the years, I found that one of the hardest things for them was to understand their children's behavior. You know, their child would kick them while they were feeding the baby, or they would steal candy in the grocery store. And they'd be so frightened. Is my child crazy? Is my child going to end up on a therapist's couch forever? Did I fail my child? And before they know it, they just are so confused. They don't know what to do. And they're so terrified that they get angry and they don't know how to react in a positive way. So I wrote this book out of a very deep love for children and a wish to explain to parents why their children behave the way they do. And I discovered something very interesting in my work, that there really are 9 issues that are the underlying cause. And once you understand these issues, you're less frightened. And I give parents tools. I explain to them, here's what you can do in this situation, here's what you can say. And my goal is to give them positive tools so they raise their children to feel loved. That's the most important thing to me, is that children are raised to feel loved. And when we speak to our child, we need to be keep in mind that we have to protect their self-esteem, and then they'll be raised to be loved.
Hmm. That's very true. Thank you so much, ma. I think you personally explained the details, common challenges you normally find when it comes to children, which is the way we get to know our children. Thank you so much, ma. And this also brought me to the point of communication because I always remember when I was a child, my mother, probably she doesn't really used to communicate with me. By the time she tells me something once, by the time I do not hear, eh, the next thing is knock or probably just a date. When my mom, I remember a time whereby my mommy was like, always speak English. You need to learn how to be speaking English at home sometimes, not only your dialect language. So I decided to say, I know I decided to still continue with my dialect language. The next thing I'll just receive is slap and cane. You understand? So, no, that deals with the communication, how it's being done, Mrs. Wellness. So I would like to ask, like, how do you think parents can possibly, improve communication with their children, especially during difficult times of misunderstanding, ma?
Yes. So in your case, you continued with the dialect and she didn't like it
Yes.
and she hit you.
No, no, she didn't hate me. She just, like there's some ways that you just tell your children, maybe with cane or with a knock on there that don't do that again. You understand? Then you will like, okay, now it's like it has gotten to the next stage. You try your best to comfort yourself.
Well, I think that children will, behave the way they do. Uh, it's natural for a child to uh, you want to speak in their dialect, or but if it's not something you want, so like for example, suppose your child leaves his pajamas on the floor of the bathroom after taking a shower, and you've told him you want him to put it into the hamper.
Mm,
So uh, parenting is really going to take a lot of patience and repetition and an explanation why you want pajamas in the hamper. Well, we have to wash them so that you'll have them the next day. So rather than expecting children to follow suit the minute you tell them what to do,
mm,
um, you need to understand they don't have impulse control. Um, they're like newcomers to this world. I always say, make believe your child is a Star Trek Voyager, and he's just arrived at a new world. He
mm,
doesn't really know how to behave or what to do, and it takes a long time for children to internalize um, how to be in situations. Okay, if you're angry at mommy, you feel jealous that I'm feeding the baby and you're left out. You don't kick me. It's okay to be angry, but you need to say I'm angry. Uh, we don't hurt anybody in the family. So in your case, uh, what you needed was understanding that you were a child,
mm,
that it takes children time to learn about the expectations of the world and how to be in
mm,
the world, and patience. And, um, I always say that you sort of have to develop a listening ear where you observe how you're coming across to a child, so that how would you feel if you were in your child's shoes right now? You would want to make your child, you'd want to guide your child. I always talk about being a benign mentor to your child. You want to teach your child. We are all about teaching children. That's what parenting is. It's teaching children, but we can do it in a gentle way.
yes, I completely agree with you, ma. And that you also said, you also discussed about the area of children who get angry and stuff like that. It's very, very difficult for parents to handle some children like that who probably have temper issue. So what do you think? Like, is there any effective strategies for parents to handle temper in their children?
Okay, let me explain something. In my book, I talk about these 9 issues. And
Okay.
one of the issues is, and they're all developmental. Like babies come into the world with all these issues. For example, if a baby is hungry and baby feels you're not coming fast enough, the baby starts to kick the feet and thresh the arms and turn red and cry and scream. He expresses his emotions physically. And that is why a 2 year old, a 4 year old, even a 10 year old at times will be aggressive with their body because that's that was the natural way they were wired
Mm,
in infancy. So if you understand that and you understand that it's a process to get them to move from physical expression to verbal expression. So if your child has a temper or whatever, you say, look, I can see that you're angry. I'm going to acknowledge the fact that you're angry because we want children to know that we accept their anger to a point, not hitting, not hurting anyone. But anger is a natural emotion. We see it in babies. So I understand that you're angry. So this, you acknowledge the emotion, and then you say, it, set a limit. It's okay to be angry, but we don't hurt anybody. You don't want me to hurt you. I don't want you to hurt me. Remember when your friend kicked you? Remember how that felt? Well, that's how it feels when you kick me. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to use words. Now, this is a very important point I want to say to you. A lot of teachers and a lot of parents will say, use your words. But the truth is, they don't have the words. They don't know the words. So you need to teach children a phrase to use to
mm,
express themselves. For example, you can say, I feel angry, or I feel disappointed, or I feel left out. But this is going to take a long time. Uh, Children are very impulsive. And the other day, I was on a podcast and I told the interviewer that
mm.
children don't develop impulse control till they're in their 20s, like 25. So it's a
Wow.
process. It's like a speeding train, your impulses.
Mm,
And to stop yourself is very, very hard. So it takes a child a long time to internalize the idea of using words. And you see that as children get older, they do talk more and they're less physical. An 11-year-old is less physical than a 3 year old because you have guided him to use words and you've given him the words to use.
mm. That's very, very inspiring. Thank you so much, Mr. Mary. Thank you so much, Mrs. Mary, rather. And I would like to go to the point of anxiety, ma. Anxiety is a very, very crucial part when it comes to children, and it could be really, really tough and difficult for the parents at times. So, how do you think parents should probably approach and even possibly support a child who is dealing with anxiety, ma?
Okay. Anxiety and fears are also natural in
Okay.
babies
Mm,
because uh, they have to survive and babies are all about surviving. Okay, so that's in us at, um, as we come into the world. But if your child is anxious, okay, you want to find out why. Is there something worrying you? Um, Anxiety is often the result of pushing down feelings. So you might be angry. You might just be pushing down feelings. So, or it's fear, or it's fear. A child
mm,
is going to take a test uh, in 2 days, and they tell you, "I'm really scared. I'm really scared. I'm really scared." Um, and you say, so first of all, we shouldn't try to shame them for feeling scared
that's true.
or immediately talk them out of it. Say, oh, Well, what are you afraid of? Oh, I'm going to fail. Are you afraid that we're going to be angry with you? The child might say yes, or the child might say, I like to get hundreds. And then you could say, well, yeah, I know that feels good. And you'll just do the best you can. So we need to be supportive of a child's anxiety, try to get to the bottom of it, and then maybe give them some help in finding a solution to deal with the situation. I'm afraid to go to that party, mommy, because I'm afraid I don't know anybody. And then you might say, well, let's see, what could you do? Let's think about this. Oh, maybe you could find one person and just say, hello, my name is blah, blah, blah. What's your name? Um, Sometimes a child who is shy
Mm.
and afraid of people, you could suggest, let's give you some bubbles to take to the park, and you can share it with the children, and you can all play together, or a
Mm.
ball. So it's a combination of support and helping them solve a problem.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Mary. I really,
My
really also
pleasure.
learned from that. Parents have to try their best to understand their children, try to get to know how to just speak to them in a way they'll be willing to, listen to. And there's also a question that I'd like to bring about, like, when do you think, there might be a point whereby the parents might not find it so difficult, to the extent that they will need, someone help or someone advice to really assist them. So when do you think it is the point parents should possibly consider seeking a therapy, to address their parents' issues now?
Well, I have to tell you, every parent gets, could gain from speaking to someone like me,
Okay.
who has had experience with tons of children and tons of parents, and knows ways to solve problems. Because um, to answer your question a little more directly,
Mm,
um, every day you often have like 5 problems that come up every day. Your child doesn't want to go to sleep. Your child doesn't want to do her homework. Your child doesn't listen to you.
mm,
You find yourself screaming too much. All of these issues can drive you crazy, make you feel unhappy and unsuccessful as a parent, make you feel angry. And so having someone say to you, listen, this is developmental.
mm,
Your child is going over to the electric cord and keeps pulling on it, even though you say no, because he's 2 years old. And young children come into the world very curious. You can see that in a 2-week old baby who stares at a ray of light that's coming through the blinds. They're curious. They think it's
mm,
the greatest thing in the world. So your child's not being bad. Your child this is normal behavior. But here's how you can handle it. And I'd recommend reading my book. I know it sounds,
yeah,
I'm promoting myself, but
yeah.
in my book, I tell you how to handle it positively. You can say to your child, well, I either you could put away your planter for a couple of years until your child is not forced to keep going into it. You want to
Mm,
diminish problems in your house, or you put away glass things that you know a child's going to be so curious about, and so you try to you know make sure you don't have extra problems. But You can say to your child, I know you're really curious about the dirt in the planter, but you can't pick it up because and put it in your mouth. It's not healthy for you. It's better to put the planter away because otherwise you'll be saying that 10 times a day
Yeah,
because your child just thinks it's the greatest thing in the world and wants to keep touching it.
I
Yeah.
completely agree. Thank you so much, Mrs. Maria. And a book like that is very, very, very important for many parents to get such book that you've written. Thank you so much, man. And I would like to ask if there is any advice you could possibly you have in mind you would like to give to the parents, if there is any, man.
You need to understand that you're not supposed to know all the answers because parenting is the hardest job in the world.
Mm.
And when we bring our baby home, it's all guesswork. It's like your baby's crying. Is it
Mm.
hunger? Is he wet? Does he need attention? So first of all, you have to be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Uh, think about your own childhood and think about the way you were handled and how did you feel? How would you like uh, to make your child feel? Would you like to step back and change what was done with you? Did it make you feel good if your parent was yelling all the time? Maybe you should try not to yell. Step back and try to find a calmer way to say things. Um, keep in mind that your job is really to protect your child's self-esteem. Words are very, very powerful. If you call your child bad, you're messy, they grow up in life not feeling good about themselves.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's sad, because it's something that doesn't go away. It doesn't go away that you were
Mm.
made to feel bad about yourself. So that when you're older, the minute something goes wrong, oh, I'm bad about myself. Okay, so you want to try not to do that and try to find ways to encourage your child and show love physically.
Mm.
Tell your child, I love you. Many
Mm.
adults come to me and say, I still wish my mommy would say, I love you, because it's a need. It's the most important need that children have is to feel love.
All
And
right.
spending time with them is crucial. I always say to a child, time equals love equals time equals attention equals love.
Mm.
Giving a child attention. Uh, and it doesn't have to be 10 hours. It could be taking a walk with them outside or going for pizza with them. Um, and just understand that your child is often just being a child.
Yeah.
And you do your best, try to go to workshops, try to read books. Um, and if you really are stuck, uh, you can speak to someone like me who can guide you. And I mean, I've had parents come to me and after a very short time turn the whole family situation around because sometimes it's just the way you're looking at it and you need some tools to change it.
Hmm. Thank you so much, Mrs. Mary. And as possibly, I sincerely agree with what you said. Parents just have to try to have this calm mood. Some parents might have, possibly a harsh character, but, talking to a child sincerely, calmly will really play a really huge role in that child. Thank you so much, ma. And lastly, there's a question I normally ask, ma, from the ancestors, from the forefathers, if there is anything you would like to bring back to our time today, what do you think that thing will be, ma?
Um, well, I know something I would like them not to bring back, and that is the idea the idea of punishment being the only way to teach children. You
Mm,
don't have to teach uh, with you don't have to
funny.
discipline your child with physical means, or the only way a child can learn is punishment. Children learn from understanding. It really works explaining things. And I know a lot of people who still follow the old approach to children, this old approach, don't think that children can learn from explanation and repetition and patience. They can. Uh, I'm digging deep here to try to think to answer you. I think that the old approach was not the best for children. I really do. I think the old approach was not humane enough. Not There wasn't enough empathy for children. You need empathy, and it may sound silly, but they're like delicate flowers, truthfully, and they need to be handled with care. And so, and I'm not saying you don't
Okay.
set limits with them.
Okay.
Setting limits is the way I feel you can teach children, but it can be done in a positive way. Um, when you feel angry, you need to use words. You are setting a limit here. You're saying, okay, we're not
Okay.
going to hit, we're not going to hurt.
Mrs. Mary, I want to sincerely thank you for your time, for your efforts. You really explained a lot of things because I also agree with you when it comes to the time that we are today. Punishment is one thing that, parents normally see as a future to make it children listen, and there's a better way to do that, which you really, really explained. I want to sincerely thank you for your time. I've been long waiting. To be a parent is not easy. It's a very tough job. I want to sincerely thank you for your time and the good work you are doing. Thank you so much, ma.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.